Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are. And my condolences if you are in the United States because today is a green day here in the UK. And me and Zamo are
Greening out,
pimping the
baby.
green. We're going green today because yesterday it was. Oh, actually, it was this morning that the results were announced. So today is a very, very good day. For those of you that have been living under a rock and in the UK, don't know how much the Americans know about this, but I'll get onto that in a second. We had a by-election here in up in Manchester, because a Labour MP had to resign because they're a disgusting piece of shit, like all Labour MPs are. He had to
hmm
resign because of the disgusting WhatsApp messages that were leaked of him basically shitting on his constituents. That's right, Cheeto. Too many Brits. And so we had a by election, and Labour could have walked this by election with ease had they allowed the mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, to run as the MP for Gorton and Denton in Manchester. Why? Because Andy Burnham is literally the most popular Labour MP going at the moment. And this guy is like centre left at best. And yet he's massively popular in Manchester because he's done a good job as a mayor. Even I will admit to that. And he could have easily run as the MP for that area and won. And he probably would have won comfortably. However, the only problem with Andy Burnham is he is a threat to Keir Starmer's leadership. And as we know, Keir Starmer is the most petty, insecure, fascist little bastard that has ever run any political party. That includes Thatcher, that includes the Tories. This guy makes them look like fucking hippies in comparison as to how fascistic he has been. And I don't just mean his own personal actions, but the policies he's put in place as well. So because Keir Starmer is massively unpopular, he doesn't want anyone challenging his leadership. Because, by the way, after all the paedophile scandals with Peter Mandelson and also with Morgan McSweeney in hiring Peter Mandelson, Keir Starmer's still there. It's been coming up to a month nearly, and Keir Starmer is still leader. He should have been. But because of that, he blocked Andy Burnham from running. And so, because Andy Burnham couldn't run, they just parachuted in Angeliki Stoya, some and they're like, oh, look, she's an ethnic, she's Greek and all this. And I'm like, yeah, but what are her policies? Well, I tell you what her policies are. She's an asset stripper. She goes around as a consultant or whatever, asset management, and sees what she can sell off to the private sector. So she's a garbage human.
Sounds like
Doesn't matter
Thatcher.
that she's Greek. Huh?
It
Say
sounds like
again?
She's exactly. She sounds like Thatcher.
But that's the policy that she runs on. Neoliberalism. That's what Thatcher ran on. They're no different. They just
Mm.
strip assets, sell it to the private sector. And so then we also had a GB news presenter, a former liberal academic turned grifter, Matt Goodwin, run for the Reform Party, and he
Bad
ran on
win.
the platform of just,
No win.
uh, yeah,
Matt,
it's not
no
good
win.
win, it's bad win or no win. Yeah, Matt, no win. And
No
as a
win.
result, we had, yeah, so as a result of Andy Burnham being blocked, a lot of that pissed off a lot of the Labour voters. And for the Greens, ran a local lass who was a plumber. Okay, she is a plumber and she was training to be a plasterer. So a proper working class person who worked also as a councillor. And, she ran for the Greens. Now, we had the by election yesterday, and not only did the Greens win, they smashed it. They won by taking 40% of the votes. Labour ended up coming third, and Reform just above them, barely by 1 or 2, about two and a half
Yeah,
percentage points.
yeah. They were chasing second, both of them.
It was a two-horse race for second between them two, and Greens won, and that has sent a massive shockwave. And me, I can't speak for Zam or on Zam's behalf, but for me, I have been enjoying today more than any other day in a long time. So before I ramble on, Zam, your thoughts on
I,
everything that transpired?
I, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. But the last episode of Star Trek made me quite emotional. I wanted to cry, and today when I found out that Hannah Spencer won her place, I was like, wow, I'm getting emotional here. And not only did she win, and the Greens won, but she, as you said earlier, she destroyed it. You know what I mean? They knocked out the fucking park, like all the 12, 13 points, something like that.
She won by 15 points or 12 of 13 points. You're right. Yeah, 13 points. She got 40.4%, and I think Reform were like 28 points something. So,
That is
yeah,
massive. Don't get me wrong. I still don't like the fact that Miss Reform are even in the picture whatsoever. But for the Greens just to come out of nowhere like fucking Randy Orton doing an RKO and start delivering, so quickly, and people buying into this message, you know, wow, like, am I still living in Britain right now? Like, this is amazing.
did
These are
I?
the same. This is the same dickheads who gave us Brexit. So I had no faith in my countrymen. Londoners is one thing, the rest of the United Kingdom is another. You know,
Yeah,
so, and,
absolutely.
and just
No,
quickly,
no, no.
I'm
Carry
sorry,
on, Kev. I don't need
just
to
a
interrupt.
tangent. When I'm playing FIFA and I'm playing pro clubs, I got speaking to this one guy who brought up I never brought up politics. He did. I hate Keir Starmer. I hate him. And I thought, great, I hate him too. But I could just tell by how docile this motherfucker sounded that that he was going to be a Farage supporter, and he was. Yeah, I like that Farage, and I mentioned the fact that Farage wants to end the NHS, and how he and Boris Johnson famously said we're going to get £350 million if we left the EU. That never materialized. He brought us Brexit. You tell me something that's happened from Brexit, and then he would mention, oh, the Queen said Brexit was going to be really good. The Queen doesn't represent working class people whatsoever. She would not understand what it means to be fucking working class or blue collared in any iota. So who gives a fuck what the Queen thinks? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, you tell me something good about Brexit, and I'll tell you several things that are bad. He couldn't name shit. It's all about feelings with these motherfuckers.
I
But
don't know anything about policy. It's vibes and feelings, and
yeah,
because they're so emotional and erratic and
but
childlike.
no, but you could just tell when you just immediately speak to somebody, like, just by the sound of their voice, the way they talk, their tone, that they're fucking stupid as fuck, and they're going to vote against their best interest. And but regardless, um, you know, like I said, this was before the vote. Gorton and Denton vote came out. Listening to this guy really made me upset. So to see that the Greens won, it's like, yay! There's still fucking smart people on this earth. Yay! We have a chance here. You know what I mean? Now I know our media is going to do everything they can to fucking curtail everything. I know that. I know that. I don't trust anything. We live. Our country, our world is run by fucking billionaires. And our government does their bidding. So I do expect that everything and anything will be done to stop any left wing movement from coming into power. I just don't trust the world that we're living in.
No, so this is the thing. Expect the attacks to ramp up. Expect the smears. I mean, the Labour ran the most disgusting, dirty campaign filled with lies and misinformation, and they finished third. Okay, they even lied to the fact that they were the ones that it was a two-horse race between them and Reform, and Greens are in the way. And we were argued, no, actually, you're in the way, and if you step out of the way, Greens would have got even more bloody votes. But it's going to happen. Right now, Farage, instead of just accepting the loss, is trying to do the usual fascist, and this is textbook fascism, to say the opposition cheated, the opposition are doing fraud, the opposition stole the election, whatever you want to say, the family voting thing. And some of the stupid theories are saying is like the husbands marched their wives into the booths and got them to vote Greens and all this kind of shit, the Muslim ones and all this kind of stupid shit. So they've done everything and they will do everything. And the one thing I will say about this situation, because now they're like opening complaints to the police and all that, even though the police and Manchester Council have said there's been no voting irregularities, there is nothing here. Zach Polanski confirmed it. What the police had said, they said if you don't believe me, you can go and ask them. But the problem now is once this enters the discourse, because our media will just parrot and amplify anything that Farage says, idiots, uneducated idiots, are going to parrot the same rhetoric. And then when it comes to other by elections, there will be shenanigans. There will be people acting up, and you might get like ruffians turning up at booths, intimidate people, and all this kind of shit. Because this what happens every fucking time. Every time this is what happens. You say it once, the media are on your side because they don't like democracy, and it amplifies, and then the idiot public believe it, and then we have problems. I'm hoping that doesn't come to fruition because, like I said, the English are quite lazy when it comes to getting involved to that kind of level. So I'm hoping it doesn't get to that. But yeah, Zan, you're absolutely right. Now that Hannah Spencer is one, it's now five Green MPs that have won, and it's the first time they've ever won a by-election. Expect the attacks to ramp up. Expect the lies and the smears to ramp up. The Zionist lobby is having an absolute fucking meltdown in this country because they're doing everything to paint Zach Polanski as an anti-Semite, as a racist, as all of that, and he's like, bro, I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish and I'm gay. And my co-leader is a Muslim and a gardener. You know what I mean? Like Mothin Ali. The guy, like, he loves gardening. He's absolutely obsessed with gardening and all this kind of shit. It goes, so you have a gay Jew as a leader and a Muslim as a co-leader and a woman as another co-leader or whatever. I forget her name is. And yet, yeah, we're the racist ones, not the Zionists that are saying all Muslims deserve to die and they should be wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So they know the problem. Zionists know their rhetoric isn't sticking. It just doesn't work anymore. The pro-Israeli propaganda doesn't work. So the next step is change the laws, bring in fascism to ensure that you can carry on doing the garbage that you're doing. And we see that in America. And in fact, we're going to talk a little bit later about America and something that has really pissed me off. Like I'm absolutely fuming about this, but I'll talk about that later. Not going off on a tangent now, because we're here to celebrate the Greens. Now, I got up quite early because I needed a shit. And I got up and I was still like, despite everything, I was dreading. I don't know about you, Zan, but I was dreading to look at the results. Because again, sometimes with these things, although they had Green's favourite to win, I was still a bit apprehensive because I was like, oh, okay, let's see. Okay, hopefully they won and all that. And then I see the result, like, fuck me, they won by 40%. That's huge. And so I took the happiest shit I've ever taken. And then after that, I just spent the rest of the day. I started work at 9:30, so I spent the next 3 hours just soaking in hope, love, joy, celebrations, positivity. And Zam will tell you, it doesn't fucking come often in this country. So I've just been soaking it all up. I don't know what you've been doing with social media. I don't know if you've been looking at everything.
Yeah, I've been posting lots of stuff. Just a couple of things for a start. What concerns me the most is, how will Britain? I don't think many. I think there are people who like what the Greens offer, but I think they'll happily jump ship if they find out that and they know more regarding who Zach Polanski is, that he is a gay politician. I that worries the hell out of me. That once that becomes more of a cat of the bag, and they start seeing him walking around hand in hand with his husband and giving him kisses and shit like that, people say, "Fuck that! I ain't voting for this guy. I'd rather vote against my best interest than vote for a gay guy." You know what I mean? And then they sees his number two alongside him, looking like he should be fucking driving a tuk-tuk. You know what I mean? With his little cap over his head and his fucking little beard. You know what I mean? Wondering if he's going to be opening up his fucking halal butcher shop any minute now. They're thinking to themselves, these two guys are going to be running our country. Fuck that. I'm going to vote for the fascists. Once they visualize all this shit, regardless of them being initially romanced by the policies, stuff like that worries me, Ginge. It really does.
Well,
You
those
know what I
voters
mean?
aren't on the Greens already. They're already over at Reform and Restore and even contingency of the Labour and obviously the
We're
Conservative Party.
talking.
They're
I'm talking
already there.
normies though. Like not everyone's. There's
Normies, look,
normies.
Zam, the
Yeah.
biggest problem we have in this country is non-voters. Okay, only 40 something% of this fucking country turned out to vote at the last election. That was the lowest voter turnout since God knows how long. Okay, that's the issue, and people always never focus on non-voters, and that's the bit that gets me because, like Americans, for example, will say like, "See what happened? You fucking didn't vote Harris, and Trump won." I'm like, hang on, I voted. I voted something. The fucking 50% of that country that didn't vote are why you ended up where you ended up. And it's the same here. When people in 2019, because of the people are so stupid in this country, they bought into the media lies. A lot of them didn't show up to vote. In 2017, we had a record turnout. But then in 2019, the machine worked so well at apathy, which is what they want. They don't want people going out to vote because it helps the establishment. We had a low turnout. 2024, they're like, fuck it. We had the lowest turnout. And that's the problem. Now, the difference is now we have a wave of young people that actually have a party to vote for. And that is going to play the biggest role in 2029 because you've pissed off a lot of young voters. A record number of them are voting Green. There is a clear indication there are no shenanigans, unlike with Labour, where things could be twisted and changed and all this kind of shit. People have a clear choice now. They have the Greens. They also have your party. Now that they've finally voted to get their shit together, there is a choice now. And I'll tell you, I'm blue in the face. What did I always say? In reform will be 2029, and then the left-wing government will be in 2034. Now, it's shifting. I still think reform will win, but I think it's going to end up with a fucking hung parliament rather than an outright win now. Because now I'm thinking like the Greens could actually end up with at least 80 to 90 seats, which is huge. And of course, there's also the Lib Dems, never uncount them. But here's the kicker. Wales could go completely to Plaid Cymru, which is huge. I mean, and then we know Scotland is going to go right back to the SNP. So it's crazy. Like British politics is like suddenly very fucking exciting again.
Like,
And
sorry, before I got cut off. Sorry, I had a problem with my connection. But before I got cut off, what I did want to say as well that regardless of me, being a bit, being a bit of a pessimist regarding how I feel normies will behave. Seeing Hannah Spencer win, like wow, like that rejuvenated me, Ginger. It really did. Like, I didn't give a fuck about that the election going on in that particular area. It didn't bother me whatsoever. But now seeing the Greens, denting that area, pun intended. I almost feel young again. That I want to be that activist guy again. When we were younger, doing our YouTube shit, trying to let the world know what the fuckeries that we were living in. Not just atheists. Not just trying to debunk religion, but trying to make people point people in the right direction. I always felt that to a degree, not necessarily we failed, but there was always more powerful voices getting to the people that we needed to speak to, and we weren't able to change minds. But now I'm really hoping that, especially with the next generation, younger people obviously taking on the baton, that maybe there's a chance for us, Ginger. Maybe there really is.
I'm telling you now, okay? And you look, I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm very good at predicting politics. In fact, but everything's taken a kind of turn to where I didn't expect the Greens to do this fucking well. But it's just because the cost of living has gotten so bad, and young people are so pissed off that honestly, I'm telling you now, May we won't know, but the next fucking general election, we're gonna get a tidal wave of young voters like we did in 2019. In 2019, we had a record turnout for young voters. Now,
Is it me this time? Hello? Let me just check.
the deep state got me.
Oh, I got you this time. Okay, I couldn't tell if it was me. I couldn't tell if it was you or me.
It
You
kicked
know,
me out of the room, and then it tried to connect. I was just like, ah, fuck it,
so
I'll just leave.
restream is a bit.
They all are.
Uh,
All the streaming platforms lately, I think since they've kind of adopted some kind of AI shit, they're all shit. It's all just gotten bad. But yeah, like again, just to say, like in 2019 we had a record number of young voters, and we're going to get that again in 2029 because there is a clear choice for them, and none of these parties are doing anything to improve their lives except for the Greens. And the Greens offer a clear choice, and their manifesto, again, just like Corbyn's in 2019, it's fully accosted. It's there, it's feasible, it's doable. Now, the only little pin I want to put in that is as great as it is that voter turnout in and progressive kind of parties win in like cities, the urban area, it's the fucking rural area, the rural areas that the Greens need to really capture because that is what fucks up this country every time. The hillbillies, the hicks, the middle of nowheres, they're the ones that always vote against their best interests, and they're too
stupid
fucking
fucks.
stupid to
Yeah.
understand why, and they keep falling for the same rhetoric all the bloody time.
I'll give Hannah Spencer some credit, but in her victory speech, she mentioned, look, we're here to help white working class voters and stuff like that, which is something the left needs to just happily say, because I wouldn't mind the left saying that if it means, reaching out to those people, because we don't, and
Yeah,
we should reach out to them and not make them feel like they're left out, and that's what,
absolutely,
yeah, reach out to.
absolutely. Just she is a white working class woman, so for her to pander to anyone else other than other working class people, including white people as well, is wrong. And so, absolutely, you have to make that distinction to say, listen, if you're white and working class, of course we're going to look after you. What we're going to do, just look after like the Muslims, for example. So
Yeah,
yeah,
refugees.
yeah, I 100% agree with you in that. She was good of her to say it, but that's what. Look, the more this now the aftermath of this has been fucking beautiful. Like the tears, the meltdowns that I've seen from the right have been nothing but amazing. However, it's also bloody disgusting as well because well, as an appellation, I take offense to hillbilly and hick. Had you added redneck, we'd be fighting. Calm down, redneck.
And you
Okay.
know what? There's always somebody who has their head above the sand or head above the clouds or whatever the term is, and that happens to be you, Daniel Vance. Unfortunately, everyone around you are fucking dickheads.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Vance has ascended into greatness anyway. One of the
Yeah.
few great Americans that exist in this world. Let's be
Yes.
perfectly honest here. Now, oh god, sorry, I'm still digesting my food. Uh Yeah, so the unfortunately some of the meltdowns have been absolutely disgusting, and as you can tell, they've descended into absolute racism, and they have the gall to talk about that the Greens running on a platform of division and sectarianism when you are firstly supportive of ultra Zionists and you ran on the most racist fucking platform of division. It doesn't get more divisive than that. And I'll give you a good example here. I have Matt Goodwin's thing. I can't be asked to do a share screen, but you can see it for yourselves.
Read it. Read it.
Statement: We are losing our country. A dangerous
Oh God.
Muslim. Sorry, what?
No. It's just like he's going. He's doing the greatest hits.
Yes, yes. If we were doing a drinking game now, we'll both end up in casualty. We are losing our country. A dangerous Muslim sectarianism has emerged. We have only one general election left to save Britain. Vote reform every chance you get. I will continue to fight. I will always fight for you. I will stand at the next general election. So you don't really give a shit where you are as long as you're standing, basically. That's good. But there you go. There's a few boxes ticked. Islamists, Muslims, sectarianism, separation, division. But that's everything that they're doing, and they're blaming the Greens of doing. And Julia Hartley Brewer was the worst of the worst because she went on a fucking massive homophobic and transphobic rant during her thing on Talk
Of
TV.
course, you have to blame the trans at some point.
Yeah, she is an absolutely vile, disgusting human being, the absolute worst of the worst. She is Megyn Kelly on steroids in this country. She is that vile. At least Megyn Kelly tries to have some kind of dignity and poise, and I say that.
I'm thinking more like Ann Coulter, Katie Porter, not
No,
Katie
no, no,
Porter, Katie
no. They're
Hopkins.
mild compared to Megyn Kelly. She's more like Laura Loomer. There you go.
Katie Hopkins,
Katie Hopkins, that kind of thing,
Laura
but
Loomer,
worse than
yeah,
Katie
crazy
Hopkins.
bitches.
Yeah, just
I would have
really
put
fucking.
MTG at one point, but she's calmed down a bit, which is
She's calmed
crazy.
down now. She's playing the game now. She's like, oh, I'm going to poise myself to be the next Republican leader, so I'm going to take this fucking piece of shit Trump down with me. And so, but it's been hilarious to see the meltdowns. I've been soaking it in, and just understand this: there is video with Hannah Spencer dancing with the Urdu communities, with the Bengali communities, having a good time, encouraging unity, collectivism, and you got right wing dickheads at the top of the page on Twitter going, "We're losing our country to this. This is unacceptable. What a joke this is." And I'm like, you people just are the most miserable bastards on the planet. You're just miserable. You have everything you want right now, and you're not happy. Keir Starmer, for all the faults of Labour, is actually doing exactly what reforms say they want to do. Asylum applications are down. Boat crossings are up, but boat crossings are getting worse because the rest of the world's getting worse. But we can't exactly control that until they get to our borders. Deportations are up massively, and rejection of asylums are up. So Keir Starmer is doing exactly what reform want. Reform voters don't believe it, despite the evidence. So, but the right are getting exactly what they want. They're getting foreigners are getting kicked out of this country record levels. I said before in my job, inquiries on immigration has shot up to the fourth biggest issue that we have. It wasn't an issue before. Under 14 years of the Tories, it wasn't an issue. But now it's an issue because Keir Starmer is doing what reform wanted. So they have everything they want. We're gearing up the judiciary system to be very fascist. We are doing what the Americans and the Israelis want, but yet right wingers still miserable.
Yeah, but they don't give a fuck. But they don't. Look, it reminds me
They
of
don't
like the
stand for
Democrats
anything.
in America. Like they'll do everything the right wing wants, you
Yeah,
know, but they while kowtowing to them and ignoring the real base of people, but they don't want to do policies for those people. And yeah, you're never going to get acceptance from the people who you're currently doing shit for because they don't want to vote for you. They want to vote for the real fascists, and yeah, it drives me nuts. And Starmer is doing exactly that right now, and it pisses me off. You know,
yeah,
as a Labour,
100%.
I am 100% green now, yeah, and I will be until they fucking piss me off and make me want to vote for somebody else. But
Of
I was
course.
originally a Labour guy, that's where I was. Now, if I was a party affiliation, doesn't matter. All I care about is policy. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. You give me the policies that I want, I'll fucking vote for you. Simple as that. And right now the Greens are doing exactly what I want from
Yeah,
what I want.
100%. Look, I've never missed a vote since I was 18. I'll tell you this: I have voted for Labour only under Corbyn, and that was because I fucking hate the MP in my area, and that is Joan Ryan at the time, who was exposed by Al Jazeera of working and colluding with the Israeli lobbies to smear and undermine Corbyn.
Yep.
Okay? That was my MP that got exposed. I've never liked her. She's a horrible bitch. She's not from around here. She never grew up. She was parachuted back in the 90s into this area. So I only voted for her under Corbyn. And I said that when they came door knocking. I said, listen, Joan Ryan is scum, but I love Jeremy Corbyn. So she's getting my vote this time. So 2017, 2019, I was a mate. In 2016, I joined the Labour Party as a member because of Corbyn. And as soon as Keir Starmer got elected, I left. So I was a member for 3, 4 years, whatever it was. And then I left. I voted for, in 2000, for mayor, I voted Ken Livingstone. And I regretted that vote because he stabbed everyone in the back, piece of shit. He went back to Labour and he also he jacked up our council tax and he jacked up the travel costs. I remember it was like, 50p and then it went up to like 75p. When you're a student, that's a huge jump, you know what I mean? Especially when you take multiple buses. And then everything else went up under him. So in 2004, I voted Boris Johnson, because no, I didn't. No, that's a lie.
Really?
I voted in
What the fuck?
2008. No, I voted Boris Johnson. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
you told me
didn't,
you were right wing. You told me you were right wing.
I
Yeah.
was centre right at the time and I voted, but I didn't like Boris Johnson. I didn't like the Conservatives, but I hated Ken Livingstone that much that I voted for Boris Johnson. And to this day, I do not regret that vote. Why? Because he got rid of the Western extension of the congestion charge. He froze council tax for 3 years. As a working class person, both of those things were very beneficial to us. Under Livingston, we didn't benefit no fucking thing. He attacked cars. Of course, you could say the same now for the fucking Sadiq Khan, but he attacked cars at the time. He made everything residential parking. He fucking congestion charge came in, all that shit, and he expanded it westwards. Do you remember? Earls
Yes,
Court,
yeah.
all of that. And Johnson got rid of it. So I don't regret voting for Boris Johnson. That's why I voted for him twice in 2008 and 2012. Or was it 2012? I can't remember. I remember I just voted for Johnson. I've voted Lib Dems. I've voted Greens. I've voted Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition Party. I voted as my politics moved with the times. I went, kind of like, I was like this. But then it became more about the policies, like you said. And by the time Corbyn came in, I was fully left wing at that point. And so, that's why after Corbyn, I went Greens, I went Trade Unionist, Socialist Party, I went Socialist Workers Party at the last London election, all this kind of shit. So I've been very, left wing since, but not loyal to any party. The Greens, like Zab said, for now, Greens, but if they become dickheads, then I'll move to your party. Because at least I know they're not going to bloody change. So, yeah, that's me. That's right. And people will try to shame me and say, you voted for Boris Johnson. I'm like, yes, because I hated Ken Livingstone that much. And Boris Johnson was a great mayor because he was corrupt as fuck. But hey, life was cheap for me. So I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he brought in the Boris bikes, which I fucking hate. These motherfuckers.
Oh, I love them. Oh, did you like the Boris bikes? I love those.
They make my job into a potential manslaughter charge.
That's the Lime bikes. They're worse.
Mate, Boris bikes, Lime bikes are just these fucking bikes where you don't need a helmet. We have no helmet law, but these bikes will fucking end up being redundant. So people are riding around, willy nilly like fucking circus acts and shit like that. Mate, I fucking hate it, man. Every day I'm this close from fucking killing somebody by accident. You know what I mean? Because of these stupid fucking cunts. Hate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. I sympathize with the Lime bikes. Like, they're bloody everywhere. I don't like those. The Boris bikes were fine. They weren't that bad at the time. But the Lime bikes now, they're everywhere, and they're just an eyesore. They're just dumped everywhere, and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this kind of
yeah.
thing.
I'll give you that. At least the Boris bikes were in pretty much in zone 1, zone 2.
That's it. Yeah,
But now, yeah, line bikes are fucking everywhere. Like they're laying around like garbage. You know what I mean?
and they're not owned by us. They're American owned, so that's money going off to the fucking Americans. Well, at least the Boris spikes, they were ours. But yes,
Capitalism in a private.
capitalism 101.
Yeah,
But that was the news about British politics. It's beautiful. It's good to see. Once this stream is done, I'm going to go up and soak more right wing tears and just. Oh, by the way, Zan, follow Kevin Logan on YouTube if you don't already.
let's do that.
Yeah, he is like, he will have you in absolute hysterics. This guy is the funniest left winger on the planet, and No Justice MTG as well, because she's just brilliant. Helena, I don't know if you watch Novara Media because she's always on there. It's a
18,000 subscribers.
yeah, he doesn't have a lot, but he is the best fucking thing going. He's
No, I just
so
wanted to make
funny.
sure. He's
Yeah,
got
he's got a
Zoltan
beard.
behind him as well.
He looks like a young version of me, and he's got the Zoran poster in the back. He has our sense of humor. And he's just funny. Like, he'll just randomly say like, I love this person so much, or this is so base that I'm just ready to drop my trousers and let them have their way with me. They can tickle my taint and all, that kind of sense of humor. He's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome.
he'll have you in hysterics, mate. I'm always crying, laughing with him. But and No Justice MTG. But if you follow Kevin, they always do live streams together, so you can just follow her naturally through there. They're the best thing going on the left in the UK. They're so good, and they're actual like historians as well, so they know their fucking history. So you learn a lot of shit there as well. So with that being said, we can move on to America, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fucking Paramount Netflix Warner Brothers situation, because I'm really pissed off. Netflix has pulled out, and I'm guessing after Trump's little temper tantrum against Netflix on True Social a couple of days ago, they were bullied into pulling out of the deal, and now Paramount are the clear favorites, 111 billion, okay, to buy,
Jesus Christ.
to buy Warner Brothers. And I'm fucked off for two reasons. Number one, they're going to now own CNN as well as CBS. And we've seen what they've done with CBS News. And they're going to do the same to CNN. Number two, they're so fucking bad with their properties. And they're such a shit film studio that now they're going to drag all the Warner Brothers stuff down. Whereas with Netflix, animation, forget it. That's out the fucking window now. So yeah, I'm really pissed off with this.
Yeah, when the right wing owns the arts gets destroyed.
It does.
And with MGM, that means they're gonna. I believe you said Warner Brothers, yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, which means they'll end up owning DC.
Yeah.
And so Superman will finally be Homelander. If they listen to get their way. I mean? And maybe Batman will now be killing bad guys
just
on the streets.
People only. Yeah.
You homeless bastard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's like fucking Christian Bale going, "Oh, I'm really Jason Bateman under his mask." You know what I mean? But I'm not Bruce Wayne. And
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing that film though. I mean, you kind of hit on a thing there. But yeah, they own DC now. Fucking Larry Ellison owns DC.
I
The
hate
most
that, man.
ultra Zionist prick, and his fucking son that looks like a caricature from South Park playing the Hartley Boys. Okay, with these fucking big gummy teeth.
You mentioned they have South Park. I mean, they do have South Park, and they can't rein those fuckers in.
Well, that deal was signed before Ellison took over.
Even so, but if Ellison did take over and he had South Park under,
well, we had South Park when they did the series 27.
Yeah, and South Park are just too popular, and I want South Park to take piss out the Ellisons for a start if they can do that.
Don't put it past them. Don't put it past them because they're like, we've got our $1 billion, so we'll do whatever the fuck we want.
and like people, regardless of how people feel about Star Trek, whether they think it's too woke, which is like mind-boggling when they say something like that about Star Trek if they not ever fucking watch Star Trek. But regardless, where that's gonna go in the future, will it be will Starfleet end up being more fucking militarized? That's what concerns me and shit like that. And oh man, this is dark days when it comes to the shit we love, and the direction they take it. It really is dark days ahead.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. See, look, there you go. Trump cancelled Medicare benefits for the entire state of Minnesota, saying it's due to fraud. Of course, it's about revenge. They also put a moratorium on all durable medical supplies for the entire US. Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with a petty, pathetic human being here, and he will happily kill his own people. Yeah, I mean, oh,
Oh, the Daily Show, my god,
Daily
if they get
Show's
rid of it.
fucked. It's gone. There's not going to be a Daily Show.
No, but all they need to do is just be a different. Don't call themselves a Daily Show, but obviously offer the same sort of service, but on a different channel. Jon Stewart and whoever.
Well, Jon Stewart jumped ship and yeah, just brings a similar magazine show on another channel. Maybe, but who they're going to go to now? There's literally just fucking Sony, Disney, and uh, well, I mean, there's Amazon, there's Netflix, but they're not going to fucking.
What do you mean by the silver lining hard? I have no idea what he means by that. But anyway,
I have no idea. Hey, Rick.
hello, Rick.
Rick, how happy are you that your pick me's lost yesterday? Your favorite team lost yesterday, be it Labour as you claim to be.
You know what? I wanted to before we moved on to American Point, I wanted to say this about Suella Braverman. I'm really worried how this is going to come across because damn, I'm scared saying this. Suella Braverman, does she have the most punchable face in the world? Even
You can say that. Listen, they're
yeah.
politicians. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but I'm
they're
talking
not
about, I'm a
human.
man saying about a woman's face being
Doesn't make a
punchable.
difference.
Yeah, when
And
she
listen,
goes, when she's like on the microphone going, like that,
like
and
a
like she's like
fluffy
going,
fish.
I'm going to take away all your equal rights, and that means packies like me are gonna fucking not have any say in this world. Aren't you happy, white people? Yay! You know what I mean? Like you fucking bitch. I hate you so much. I hate you so fucking much. You have no idea. I really, really fuck. I've never look. I just see her and that fucking puffed up puffer fish face of hers, and oh man, she triggers me. Her existence triggers me. I can't stand that fucking bitch. I really fucking hate her. I've had to
Yeah,
speak. I've had to ask to some of the left wing women I know who are on the level where I asked them if I put a post on social media saying Suella Braverman's got a punchable face, will I get fucked over for that? And they advised me, you know what? We know where you're coming from because she does have a punchable face, but yeah, don't put that on social media. But I
yeah.
can't
I
keep it
mean,
in, man. I can't keep
don't
it
put it on
in.
social media, but you can put it on here. It doesn't
Are you
fucking matter.
joking with me? Are you joking with me? She'd be the stereotype, man. You get all those fucking turmeric smells and shit like that from that bitch. You know what I mean? Fucking garam masala coming out of her fucking pants. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you're just making it more enticing to me, mate. You know what I mean? Well, curry pussy. Let's fucking go, mate. You know what I
No,
mean?
man. I just can't stand her fucking face, man. You know what I mean? She's got one of the worst features I've ever seen. When you're ugly on the outside and ugly on the inside, you just if I met her, I'll let her know, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
please do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, let
yeah.
her know that, she got a slappable face. It's acceptable. Look, there's Julie Hartley Brewer is another one who's just got such a smug aura and vitriol and filth about her that it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna set my friend on you. Now, my friend, she is gorgeous, but she will fuck you up. She is a brilliant fighter. Like, I seen her beat the shit out of 3 women just because one of them made fun of me, and she beat the shit out of all 3 of them. Okay, So I will set her on to Julia Hartley, bro. I'll be like, right, that's where she is. Please just go and, for the sake of legal purposes, tut at her.
Oh, by the
I
way,
don't condone violence.
I know we said we're moving on to the
I'm
States,
joking,
but just quickly
obviously.
back to the UK. Like
It
one of the reasons
doesn't
I
matter.
think they
Jump all over.
reform lost as well is that you know when you got a lot of stuff that bites back on Farage, even though there might be a lot of dickheads who don't care. But when he says don't trust a Tory and shit like that, and then his entire cabinet is fucking full of ex-Tories, that doesn't help him. And now Restore's coming into play, which are a proper white supremacist party. I'm not worried about Restore because if they end up having pick-me's on their team, then they end up not being the white supremacist party because they are truly about white supremacy. That party, they want to get rid of anyone with any pigmentation, in the Rupert Lowe and his fucking lot. So I'm not too concerned about them. But if they do, they do end up taking some votes away, some voters away from reform, then that is a good thing as well. I mean, dilute the right wing fucking vote, as far as I'm fucking concerned. So but Suella Braverman, I fucking hate that bitch. I fucking hate that bitch with every fiber of my being.
Oh, listen, mate.
You know what I
Pretty
mean?
Patel, I'd give her one. I'm not gonna
I know,
lie.
I'll give her one too. But she's
Kemi Badenoch as well. She'd fucking get it. Like, I bet she's absolute filth in bed.
no, Kemi Badenoch reminds me of the fucking Wicked Witch of the fucking West from fucking.
Oh no, she reminds me of one of my exes who was really pretty, and so yeah, I would absolutely.
I've seen memes of her on the fucking. We're talking to white supremacists, and they're like memes of her like from that Tom Hanks movie where the pirates are coming along, and she's like going, "I'm the prime minister now." You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at me. I'm the prime minister now. You
Oh
wanted
god.
reform to win. Yeah, I bet you did. And I bet you when you talk to right wingers, you'll be like, I wanted Greens to win, and I'm glad the Greens won. I know your game, Rick B. You are I love you, but you suck as a troll because you sit there glazing the nuts off of AEW, and yet you pop up on my feed against my will, showing you glazing WWE and shitting on AEW. So I know that in a right wing forum, you're probably sitting there saying the complete opposite to what you're saying here. And you know what? That's fine. If that's what makes you happy, that's absolutely fine.
Rick B, I fucking hate Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. Yeah, I've watched every episode so far. I hate the show so much, but I'm gonna watch every episode and come in the chat. And don't get me wrong, I always appreciate you when you come and give your bullshit. Unlike some other people here at NerdTube, I do appreciate your crap, Rick B. But nobody I know who is such a glutton for punishment like you, mate. You fucking you are on another level.
He loves it. He enjoys it. He just I know Rick. I know the psychology of Rick B. Like he's saying, he went to a London meetup of Advanced UK. No, he didn't. I bet you said that you went to a London meetup for your party in a right wing forum. You know what I mean?
I've joined Restore too. Yeah, but they're gonna fucking put you on a leash and go, yeah, good little packy, good little packy.
Yeah. What Zam said, I can't repeat it because I'll get cancelled. But yeah, it is quite. I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, just switching between everything. That's the problem with my brain is that's why I try to stay on tangents because I get lost, but it's all good. I got what I wanted to say, which I'm pissed off with the Warner Brothers deal, and the Greens absolutely smashed it. So after that, whatever fucking goes. So what was the other thing? Hang on. I was just about to say, was it a TV show?
You mentioned Ellison's and Paramount and
No, yeah, I've mentioned all that. I'm just annoyed that deal's going to go through now. I hope
there is nobody else who's going to take on board. No.
well, there's nobody else that wants to do it. Amazon at one point could have. I literally anyone but Paramount or Sony Pictures because they both suck. It just forget the propaganda stuff. At filmmaking, they are abysmal. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for Tyler Sheridan, they literally have nothing to offer except for South Park. Like Tyler Sheridan carried Paramount. Okay, so even from a purely creative point of view, I'm not going to get to enjoy wonderful Warner Brothers animation. I'm not going to like the only bonus I could see is maybe James Gunn fucks off. But again, with the filmmaking being so bad, it's irrelevant.
It's funny because Tyler Sheridan really walked that line, of like making things seem conservative, but being quite liberal at the same time. He really walked that line really well, because he would make stuff that would appeal to rednecks and hicks by having shows that are about rednecks and hicks, like
Yeah,
Landman and
but
Yellowstone and shit like that.
that's fine. Look, again, I don't care. Listen, I don't care if you're a conservative. Like, there are still many people I know that are classic conservatives, and that's more like, I don't care what you do. I just money, money, government out business. Or if you're going to be that level of conservatism, that's fine. You know what I mean? And again, I don't really care as long as you're not a fucking dickhead about it. So, there's a couple of channels that I follow, and I know they're conservative, but they're not dickheads about it. They're just nice people that just don't have their politics right. Tyler Sheridan is just very good, a very good creative, and I would hate the fact that he's a conservative get in the way of, say, liberal Hollywood blocking him, for example, just because he happens to be conservative. Now, if he crosses the line and does like a James Woods and just becomes like vile with it, then yeah, fuck off.
No, but he writes, or he writes, or he basically gets the ball rolling for a lot of people to continue his writing stuff where he left off, in a lot of the shows that he's made. And like, when you watch stuff like The Lioness, it's a military show, but it's called The Lioness because it's mainly about female characters, and there's a bit of fucking scissoring going on here and there as well between a couple of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's not remotely conservative. Then you have things like the Mayor of Kingstown and stuff like that,
Just
and
gonna open my
you
top. Still here.
you got people like Jeremy Renner's character being a reformed white supremacist.
Oh, is he?
So
I
that
didn't know that about his character.
his character, yeah, and so he's good friends with people in the Crips, and his brother had a Latin American wife, and all of this sort of stuff. So yeah, that could piss off a few people, regarding stuff like that. There's lots of, it's a very diverse cast of characters and people and stuff like that. Shows like Yellowstone has.
You show that he's done now.
Well, Landman.
Yeah, Landman. So Landman, do you know what cracks me up? Sorry, so Tyler Sheridan has done a whole lot of all these kind of good shows. They're very kind of classical, like so in that what you explained. Landman is nothing. It's way more like conservative leaning, and it's got like a really hot blonde bird that's basically naked.
She's a 17-year-old girl running around, fucking first
Half
trapping
the
all these
time.
fucking. I mean, the actress is actually a lot older than that, but she's playing a
Yeah.
17-year-old, and and she's trying to be all innocent and stuff like that. First trapping, and she's innocent, and she's actually a really nice character. She's actually a really good character in the show, but she can't help this fucking, expose her flesh all the fucking time to everybody there, and all the men around her are like fucking old enough to be a dad. Like and shit like that. And I think in Sheridan, all right, you might be able to get away with that a scene like that maybe once, possibly twice, but come on, man, like just calm this shit down. Like calm this shit. It's getting ridiculous.
This is the thing
now.
that everyone's
getting a bit noncy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is very borderline. Well, it's not borderline. It is fucking noncy.
but we love their noncy, man. They love it, man.
Of course they do. That's what he's appealing to. The nonces. They love their
Yeah.
nonces. That's why they protect them all the bloody time. Let's see this. I sent Gigi proof. I went to the events. Did you? That was just AEW, wasn't it? I feel sorry for the way James Woods has been. No, you don't. No, you don't. Listen,
Liar.
James Wood would still always go down as one of my all-time favorite actors. He's in my top 5 to this day because no matter what he is now, it doesn't discredit his past work and how amazing, how much I just fucking love that actor. I think he's one of the greatest that's ever been. But he's a dickhead. But he was a dickhead before that, except that you understood he was a dickhead, but he could back it up with talent. Now he's just gone full blown just
You
scum of
don't
the
see
earth.
him in it. You don't see him. Nobody wants to hire him. The guy's so
No,
talented. Nobody wants to hire him. Like, like when you see him in a lot of roles, he actually plays quite confident characters. But then when you see him in something like Casino, where he's actually playing a really small sort of, arguably a cameo, where he's playing a dickhead hustler pimp sort of character. Like, yeah, this guy can fucking act.
oh,
You know
he's
what I
so
mean?
good. I love him. I love like Hardway, one of my favorite films. The one with Michael J. Fox. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
love,
where Michael J. plays an
yeah,
actor and he hangs around with a
fucking
cop.
love that
Yeah.
film so much.
I haven't seen that
Uh,
I can't remember any of that movie, but I haven't seen it in a long
oh,
time. That's why.
you've got to watch it again. It still holds up to this time. Like the thing with James Woods is he could do serious, but his comedic timing, his comedy was amazing. In Hercules, as Hades, it was incredible.
Yeah.
His creepiness. He's so fucking versatile.
But he
Um,
only ever plays his supporting roles and like he was in The Specialist, and there's only one film where like was it Vampires where he was like the
he
lead.
starred in Vampires, but there was a couple of films. Oh, what was the one? Oh, was it Technodrome or whatever it was called in the Videodrome or something like that in the 80s, which he starred in. He starred in a few films in the 80s and 90s, but he after that he just started becoming more of a
Any
support
given
actor.
Sunday, yeah, like he played
Yeah,
like a sleazy
became more of
doctor.
a support actor because he wasn't seen as a leading man by that point in time. But
I never thought he would ever seen as a leading man. Majority of
no,
his roles has always been
no,
support. You
he,
know,
he's always been a support actor, but one of the best actors. But he needed although he could carry something comfortably, he did work best when he was bouncing off of other people.
yeah,
and
yeah. When James was in Casino, was James was
James
playing
was playing
himself.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good point.
yeah. He's not. No. He's an actual dickhead, Rick B. Like he's
Oh,
notoriously dickheadish. But again, that didn't bother me about him because everyone's a dickhead. But it's just that he had to go be a massive fucking racist, transphobe, and homophobe and misogynist
you know
as
what?
well.
We're
Yeah,
talking
video
about
drone.
actors and stuff like that. Like Daniel Vance was yesterday with us when we were reviewing Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, and we are talking about Robert Picardo, who plays the
Oh,
Doctor.
you just sent me evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Robert Picardo plays the Doctor, and we'll talk about how great an actor he was, and then I told Cheeto and Mage
Pick me, Rick.
and Donkey who were in there. Yeah, I mean, I've always known the guy. He's been great since I saw him in Inner Space where he played the cowboy. Yeah, and you know what I got from these three American motherfuckers? Inner Space. What's that? I wanted to get into the screen, yeah, and rip their fucking heads off, yeah, and like take away their nerdiness because how dare you call yourself a fucking nerd and you haven't even seen Inner Space? Well, I watch Star Trek though, I watch Star Trek, I'm a nerd. And like, no, like
You
you're a
see,
fucking a
this
disgrace.
this is
I'm
why the
mad.
world
I'm
hates
triggered.
you, America,
Yeah.
because you haven't watched Inner Space, not because of anything else, but because of that.
How can you not watch Inner Space? You're
Such
like
a
Jesus
great
Christ.
film.
And and then like I showed them little clips of Robert Picardo playing the cowboy in that movie. And his role is very. Yeah, they never. Yeah, I know they're American though. Rick B. What do you expect? The only American with any
I'm sorry, it
with
wasn't
any
Top
with any,
Gun.
with any credibility is Daniel Vance. He's seen shit.
He's
Like he knows
ascended.
because
He's God.
because you have to understand when it comes to being a nerd, a true proper grade A, gold plated, classified, top tier nerd. It's not just about sci-fi and fucking comic book movies. It's all types of shit. You know what I mean? Like the movie Casino. For instance, when it comes to particular filmmakers like Martin Scorsese, all of his fucking work. Paul Verhoeven, one of my favorite directors. His films are fucking amazing. You know what I mean? If I told fucking Cheeto or whatever, yeah, what's your favorite Paul Verhoeven movie? He'll probably say, I. I don't know. I don't know what you'll fucking say to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? But he probably would be give me a blank stare again. Like
Stares
You
in
know,
American.
you know, and we can go to nerd shit that was prior to myself and Cheeto, sorry, myself and Ginger even being born. Like, you know, films like Logan's Run and fucking Planet of
Oh,
the Apes. You know what I mean? Stuff
oh,
like that.
Logan's Run.
You know, yeah,
Feed
Paul
it to
Werner
me.
was awesome. You know,
Feed it
you
to
know,
me. I love
and the
Logan
planet and the Planet of the Apes saga and all these series, other series back in the '60s, not
Five
just
great films with Planet of the Apes.
you know,
Five great films. And each time they gave them less and less of a budget, and each time it overperformed. That's what's
yeah.
crazy.
And you got all these like shows from the '60s I used to love watching, you know, back in the day when I was a kid in the '80s, like, you know, like the Land of the Giants, you know, and the
Lost in
Time Tunnel,
Space.
Lost
Time
in
Tunnel.
Space, and stuff like that. They know nothing. They know nothing of this shit. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, no wonder I fucking, you know, I'm classified as the fucking workhorse because I got a fucking massive palette of shit that I fucking like. You know what I mean? I'm not one dimensional, for fuck's sake.
Wow,
Oh
man.
man, I gotta get that off my fucking chest. When they told me they didn't know about inner space, I wanted to fucking kill myself there and then. You know what I mean? How can you not know Inner Space? It's a
It's
great
literally
movie.
the only good Martin Short film. I'm sorry, I hate Three Amigos. I've never laughed in a single joke in Three Amigos, but it's the only film I liked Martin Short in. And you know, I've never been a Martin Short fan up until he did Only Murders in a Building, which I think is a role he's been absolutely killed it, and he's the main reason I watch Only Murders in a Building still, even though it's really shit now.
I like to watch it for Steve Martin, but the guy's a fucking legend. You know what I
Oh
mean?
look, I love Steve Martin, I do, but he's not the best thing in this show. He's really funny, but for me, it's Martin Short. But
Yeah, was he
Steve
playing the straight
Martin,
man?
yeah, Steve Martin has so many amazing fucking films. Man with Two Brains, uh,
Well,
uh,
one of my favorite films of all time, Dirty Rotten
Dirty
Scoundrels,
Rotten Scoundrels.
The
He has
Jerk,
The Jerk,
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. How can you miss that one
Planes,
out?
Trains and Automobiles, Roxanne, fucking Eva Bowfinger. I fucking love Bowfinger. Fuck you all. It's one of my favorite Eddie Murphy films.
It's just that once
So
you start getting into the
underrated.
'90s, it started becoming shit. When you're like, you know, when you like a
Yeah,
dad of
Father of
12
the Bride
children.
and all that crap. I didn't like Father
Well,
of the
but
Bride.
was a bit nuts, but that you could see like the things were changing with that, like that felt like Dirty by the Dozen or Cheaper by the Dozen or whatever. Where the
Yeah,
fact that
cheaper by the dozen.
like
Yeah.
fuck me, man, like what you
Oh,
got
it
like
did
you
Parenthood, which was a good film. It's cheaper by the dozen, wasn't. Those were in the
Parenthood,
2000s. It was stuff that it did in the 2000s that were really, really shit.
yeah.
Yeah, Pink Panther, fucking.
Yeah, I heard about that by the way regarding Martin Short's losing his daughter. That was sad.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
really?
yeah, his daughter
Oh,
died.
oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
That sucks.
yeah,
How
that's
old was
really.
she?
I don't know, maybe in their 40s, possibly, but
That's
still,
terrible, man. What was it, cancer or?
I don't know actually. Let's find out.
Yeah, Google it. We also lost another phenomenal legend 2 days ago, and it went under the radar. We lost Rob Grant, one of the co-creators of Red Dwarf, the man who actually carried on the series after Doug Naylor left, and admittedly was nowhere near as good after Naylor left. But yeah, Rob Grant, man, Red Dwarf co-creator, what an absolute legend is an understatement. He's given me one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. One of many people, and the first, I believe it was the first British sitcom or to be a massive global hit, not just like in America, but like globally. Oh no, no. Wait, what came out first, that or Mr. Bean? Let me see. But then Mr. Bean only had 16 episodes, so it
It,
doesn't really count.
it could be suicide by the way, but
Uh, it was Red Dwarf. Yeah, it
um
was Red Dwarf. That was the first.
Ma-
Yeah,
Martin
R.I.P.
Short's
Rob Grant.
daughter Martin Short's daughter Catherine disappeared for 24 hours and was found behind a closed door with a note. By the way, she was 42 years old.
Ah,
The
fuck.
family of Martin Short is mourning the devastating loss of his daughter Catherine Short, who was found deceased inside a Los Angeles home after friends reported not hearing from her for 24 hours. According to new reports, Catherine was found behind a closed door with a note in the vicinity. Per law enforcement sources cited by TMZ, Concerns first arose when one of Catherine's friends contacted authorities after she had not been heard from in 24 hours. Officers responded to the resident in Los Angeles at approximately 6:45 uh, on February the 23rd. First responders from LAPD and the local fire department arrived at the scene and discovered her deceased. Sources indicated that Catherine was found behind a locked bedroom door. Officers were required to make an entry, a detail that aligns with previously obtained 9/11 audio. A note and a firearm was reportedly located nearby, and authorities later confirmed that she had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Fucking.
Homicide detectives also responded to the scene but ruled out foul play, according to sources. Oh man,
That's
look,
terrible.
maybe am I wanking for thinking that this is going to probably delay or maybe cancel season
It
6?
won't cancel it. There might be a delay, but yeah, I mean, depends on Martin Short how he takes it. You know what I mean? That's quite a tragic
Yeah,
thing, and given his age as well, it's a lot to fucking
you
handle. I
don't
don't know.
ever,
Single person that will freak.
you never outlive your children, dude. That's one of the fundamental things in life. Your children bury you. You don't bury your children.
Yep. I don't know a single person that would freak after not hearing from me 24 hours. People gonna find me. Listen, when I don't see you in one of our streams, I
Yeah,
worry.
I
We
worry too.
literally, yeah, we'll be like, oh, where's Vance? And that's only because obviously we know about the health problems. So, yeah, we would worry, Vance. I can't speak for anyone else in your vicinity, but of course we would. You know,
Always keeping an eye out for you, mate.
always. You've ascended. You are our keeper, our maker, our overseer. You know what I mean? We always said whenever you want to pop your face on screen, even on a microphone, you're always more than goddamn welcome. That's for sure.
I'll take the microphone. I'm not sure if I want to. Look, Vance has been an enigma for us for years.
Okay, we don't need to
Uh,
see his lovely face. We'll just have him
and
on the
and
microphone.
sometime when people have been at enigma, I don't want the facade to be ruined by visualizations and audio. You know, be that mystery man, Daniel Vance.
The boss has spoken, maybe. So be the mystery man. Um, but yeah, that's terrible, man. What happened, Martin Short? Wish him. Sorry. Oh gosh, sorry. That's because
I
I
just
beat
want
him.
to kind of go into politics and sports to a degree. Um, the American men's hockey team won the gold medal, and the women's team won the gold medal as well. But the American men's team were allowed to the
I've seen
White
your
House.
face, Rick. It's very lovely.
I
I'd
think
suck you.
the American men's team were allowed to the White House, but fortunately, only sorry, not fortunately, unfortunately, majority of the hockey team did attend, even though they know that Donald Trump a convicted felon, a convicted rapist, and arguably a pedophile enabler with Jeffrey Epstein. But they still decided to attend. Five members didn't of that team. Good for them. But Donald Trump had to make a stupid comment by saying that now, because he has the men's team, he has to now invite the women's team, saying that in a derogative remark, like, why the fuck would I want to invite the women's team? But they won
Yeah.
gold, so that's why he invite them. But Flavor Flav, my man, this guy is like a fucking, an undercover sponsor, so to speak, that is now being exposed. And this is a good thing, by the way, because my man has been sponsoring Olympic athletes for years, and he's also sponsored the women's team, the hockey team, so much so that after they won gold, he fucked them going to the White House. He had them come to Vegas, and whilst the men's team were at the White House, you know what they had? They had McDonald's. What do you expect from fucking somebody like Donald Trump? While Flavor Flav was feeding them like the best steak and lobster you can fucking imagine to the women's team. So the women's team got it a lot better
Are you
than
talking about actual Flavor Flav?
yeah, with the fucking 80s
Rick,
rapper,
What?
you know, Public Enemy, yeah,
Yeah,
Flavor
yeah, yeah.
Flav.
Public Enemy number one. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh, what a giga Chad.
What a chat. Yeah, I love the guy, man. Look,
He's
I never really
awesome.
thought, I never thought much of it. I never had an issue with him, but but he elevated himself,
Flavor
I mean,
Flav. I watched that reality show that he was
mate,
in. It was bloody
Mate, the
terrible.
women's team were fucking taken care of big time in Vegas. They had the fucking they were partying in Vegas and they were eating lobster and fucking steak, whilst the fucking
That's
American teams had to hang around in orange nonce eating McDonald's.
brilliant.
And
Absolutely,
orange
I
nonce who
did
smells like
not know
shit.
about that. That has made me really fucking happy. That is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That's brilliant.
So yeah,
Yeah,
well
I
done to the
mean,
American women's team, by the way. Fuck the men's team, except for the
yeah,
five
well
guys
done
who
to
didn't
them.
attend.
Fuck the men's. Well, I mean, I don't give a shit about Americans winning gold medals. I
No,
don't
but
give a
by
shit.
the way, no, another thing as well that when the USA won, the American team, men's team won the gold. You know who was there in the locker room with them? Cash Patel.
Cash Patel, yeah.
And like, when's this fucker ever going to not be taking his personal fucking jet on the taxpayers' money to fly around different parts of the world? Um,
Right wingers, they don't fucking work hard, mate. You know what I mean? They bluster about working hard, but they don't. They get everyone else to work hard and they just take all the money.
yeah, this motherfucker doesn't work at all. Like he's never in. The guy. He is talking about somebody who's not qualified for the position that he's been put in. But are you surprised Donald Trump was the one who fucking hired him?
Yeah,
You know, what I
I'm
mean,
not
this guy's a
surprised.
fucking blogger. This guy's a fucking
Yeah,
social media. It's like me and you running the FBI. Like we're not
yeah,
fucking qualified.
exactly. Well, I'll do a great job running the FBI because I'll just
I'll do
go
a
after
better
all the
job than
bloody
Cash Patel.
collar workers. You know what I mean? I'll just like
Yeah.
go after Wall Street. They're all guilty. Just check their hard drives. We know they are. But yeah,
Oh,
put me in
you
charge
know,
of the military because I'll just create such bad strategies that we lose every war. Deliberately, of course.
all these redactions and shit like that, it took forever, but the motherfucker's never at work, covering up these Epstein files for Donald Trump. He's also got a punchable face, by the way, and his voice grinds me as
Well,
well,
you might
grinds
be
my
able to
gears.
punch his eye back into place. You know what I mean? The fucking cockeyed fuck.
Yeah, I can't stand that little fucking prick. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll not be allowed in America now because the AI is going to store this and
Oh,
use
like
it
I'm
against you.
concerned about that, as long as there's a fucking fat orange pedophile as the president of the United States who smells like shit, I have no desire to ever go back to America.
Yeah. Well, a great philosopher once said, "When life gives you pants, shit them." Yeah, that's Trump's philosophy in life. It gives you pants, just shit them. I mean, just the state of like, where do you fucking begin with America? Like the absolute state of it. We were heading that way until we had the Greens like give us a ray of hope. And now that your party have also finally decided what the fuck they're doing as well, we're in a situation now where we don't have to fucking things aren't that gloomy yet. Of course, Labour have 4 years to do a lot of damage still, 3 years to do a lot of damage still. So, but the one thing
As
I
much as
forgot to say, sorry, just quickly, the one thing I forgot to say earlier is this result does put Labour in a precarious situation because you remember before they were pandering to reform voters and doing everything that reform voters wanted, but it wasn't working. And now
no, it will never work.
they're going to have to go more left, and even people in the news were saying it. Will you now have to go more left with your policies so you don't lose a left-wing vote? Well, let me remind people of Keir Starmer and what he said. If I get that up, but Azam, I'll hand it to you while I get the quote.
Yeah, I'll just very quickly saying that as much as I despise Keir Starmer and the current Labour Party, the only thing I can say about them is that at least they are not MAGA. Because if that was the case, then we would be having mass deportations on our streets, with ICE agents and stuff like that. I'm glad we don't have any of that. Obviously, if reform comes into power, they'll want to fucking copy that. I don't know how effective that would be in the UK. In America, the way they operate all gung ho and shit like that, that style of policing and law enforcement works in the States.
None of
Could
that
they pull off shit?
happened, Rick. None of that happened. Literally took the council and the police 5 fucking minutes to debunk that. But of course, you
All I
need
want,
to.
let me tell you what I want, Rick B. if reform does come into power and they want to do all these mass deportations, I want you first, mate. I want you first to be fucking deported. Now pick your brand up. You go, but no, I'm Rick B the pick me. I'm on your side. You can tell them all that shit, yeah, but I still want them to fucking take you and fucking kick you fucking back to Cambodia or where the fuck you come from.
Waiting for Trump to announce some emergency attempt to federalize it. Oh yeah, he's going to definitely derail the midterms. But you know, you've got guns, fucking arm up and use them. Now,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
he's
go
gonna
back
create.
to
He's gonna create the problem. By the way, he's gonna make the problem in order to fucking stop the midterms or whatever.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He'll probably go to war and suspend Congress as a result. Now, as I said, when the reporter said that, are you going to pander more to the left to Starmer? Let me remind people that Keir Starmer, in response to the left wing contingent of the Labour Party complaining that he's gone back on his policies, they said, if you don't like that, if you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave. And we did leave. We left in droves, Keir Starmer. You're not even the third biggest party in the country when Corbyn had you as the biggest political party under his leadership in Europe. Not in the UK, in Europe. Well, they've all left. You're now the fourth biggest party in terms of numbers, maybe. We left and we went to the Greens. And Labour are literally going to get annihilated along with the Tories in the next election. So if I was Keir Starmer, the best thing that he could do to save his legacy is pander more to the left. Because at least he can say, well, you know, we made people's standard of living better and we can hold our head up high, complete, and, you know, redo the fuck ups that we did before. But he's not going to do that. You know, they have no, when you're devoid of any kind of policies, when you're devoid of any kind of plan, you're just gonna go which way Zam's fucking winds blow in farts blow in the wind. You know what I mean? If he blows right, they're gonna go right. If he blows left, they're gonna go left. They don't have any conviction. So
One
kiss my
hundred
ass.
percent agree with you.
I'll be like Oscar Schindler rescuing people I like. Listen, mate,
No,
you'll
the
be the one
moment
chucked in the camp.
look, you won't rescue me for the first start. I'm a British citizen, and I'll be carrying my passport with me, and I'll have a photograph of my passport around my neck as I'm walking the streets. But regardless, if I was in the deportation line, Rick B, and they see you coming trying to rescue me, you'll be with me in the deportation lines. So calm the fuck down. You won't be
Yeah.
rescuing me for shit. You'll be hiding in your bunker.
Yeah, oh, can't believe they turned on me. Who saw this coming? Well, everyone saw this coming.
Oh
Just
man,
like,
you know what?
go on.
Sorry, just like watching all these Latinos in America who are American citizens, by the way, but obviously have people around them who are not, and they all voted Trump. These motherfuckers, and seeing them regretting their vote. Like there's one guy who was crying because his wife is Cuban, she's been deported. There's one woman's crying because her father's been deported. There's other girls crying because their father's been deported. You voted for this shit. You voted for the fucking convicted rapist felon who we all knew that he was that person prior to him being elected for the second time. You voted for a rapist, yeah, and then you wonder why you yourself are getting fucked, without consent because you voted for a fucking rapist.
Holy shit, I never thought it would happen to me. Well, it fucking
Yeah,
did. You know what I mean? It always happens. But you don't even have to go to the Mexicans. Well, by the way, actually, sticking with that, he is the Latino vote for Trump has completely collapsed now.
yeah, of course,
Uh,
because he's fucking
which
getting
no
rid
fucking
of them.
surprise. Yeah, but they're
There's still
idiots.
a
They
few.
do it.
There's still a few are waiting to feel the wrath of his. That I've seen them. A couple of guys called Parker and Dean, who are excellent debaters, by the way, amazing debaters, and they've spoken to like a Puerto Rican woman who hates Puerto Ricans and thinks they're lazy and shit like that. And is a massive Trump person, but regardless, I'm waiting for her to feel, the backlash.
The MAGA wrath. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
because
backlash.
unfortunately for right wingers, the one what makes them right wing is the lack of empathy. It's just something that is just not part of who they are as people. And
Yeah, they're
until they
complete
actually
sociopaths. Yeah.
Yeah, and until they actually end up feeling um the pain themselves, they'll never understand. But if they survive that pain, they'll still end up doing the same fucking mistakes again anyway. They never learn. That's the problem with these people. Doesn't matter what shit they go through from the problems that they've created for themselves. They never learn.
No,
They
but
never
that's
learn.
that's why when they see people like Hannah Spencer, for example, dancing in the streets with Muslim women, and instead of embracing that beautiful moment, they fucking froth at their mouth and cry and bitch and moan and go racist because they don't understand friendship, unity, collectivism. They don't understand it. They are the archetype of exactly what Thatcher want, which is individualism above all. Okay. And this is what they are. And they all think the sun shines out of their own ass and they're better than anyone else. And to be fair, there is a massive majority of American left wingers that are also like that, that want to be the main character, center of attention, the fucking, the chief above all. And that's why they're always so splintered over there. And we keep saying to you, and I've been saying it for years that here on the left, here in the UK, we don't actually give a fuck about identity politics. Just because you see one or two people on Twitter, it doesn't mean that's the left wing here in this country. I've always said we are about the money, Lebowski, and that's what's always united us. The only thing that kept the left at bay is that, again, I give much praise to Keir Starmer's absolute failure and inadequacies as a human being, let alone a leader, because he set the left free. When he started kicking out left wingers from the Labour Party, everyone was like up in arms. I'm like, what are you doing? This is a good thing. This is why I said in 2034 there will be a left wing coalition of independents because the left are now free from the control of the Labour right. Where when they were in the Labour Party, he could control them and he could whip them in line, but he got rid of them. And now you can't control them. So, with that being said, there is um, now, the unifying force behind the left in the UK is the fact that, yes, now we've got the Greens. Now we've got your party, and we are focusing on the money, Lebowski. And they did a survey. It was TLDR UK did a brilliant video on this, collating all the different surveys that they've done, and they not they done, but all surveys that survey companies did. And they've even found that even with right wing voters, they don't actually. A lot of the young right wing voters care more about the cost of living than they do about immigration. Okay, so cost of living and money is a problem, and that's why here on the UK on the left, I've always been unified about the cost of living crisis, not about identity politics. And that's why now that they're no longer controlled by the Labour Party and we have the Greens in your party, you're going to see much better unity, more grassroots fighting, and it is setting a beacon though, because Americans saw what happened with Hannah Spencer and all of that. And there's a great picture of that SpongeBob meme of, I think, Squidward kind of staring out through the window or the vent, seeing Patrick and SpongeBob happily skipping along, and he's like looking at them like that kind of envious thing. And somebody posted that with like the American flag on the back of Squidward and the UK Greens skipping along and saying, why can't we have this in America? Kind of thing. So they have been seeing what's happening in the UK, and obviously with Mandani and all that, and it's firing them up, and they're finally understanding, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't cry about Wuthering Heights and the fact that Heathcliff isn't portrayed by a brown gypsy in this. Maybe that's not fucking important.
It's other things as well, Gene, because Americans have been brought up on media which told them big government bad, government assistance is bad, you don't want government involved in your life, and yada yada yada. Well, they don't think that when it comes to corporations getting government assistance, every
Oh
fucking
no, they
chance they
love
get
that.
too big to fail and stuff like that. But they've been brought up thinking to themselves, yeah, the government shouldn't be helping people. Well, then what's the fucking point of government then? Or just to fucking go to war every fucking year? You know, the whole point of government, the whole point of paying your taxes is to benefit yourself. And you know what? I love big government when it works for me. When big government does everything I want, then it's fantastic. You're giving me all these fucking public services. Great. You're giving me a fantastic healthcare system that takes care of my needs. Amazing. That's what big government should be about, in my opinion. And I'm happy to fucking pay tax for that shit. But unfortunately, Americans have been sold a fucking lie for years, decades. They've been groomed, indoctrinated into this shit. So they don't know what's good for themselves. And that's why they all been told socialism is bad and shit like that. Whilst all their fucking allies have elements of socialism, including America themselves to a degree, have elements of socialism involved in everyday society, because that's how fucking countries run. They run off our fucking tax money. We're not run through privatization, even though maybe a lot of people would love us to see that to happen. But if that was the case, this world would be falling apart, because profits would be so important that investing any money back into making things better would be losing money.
Yeah, and that perfectly comes into this. Mamdani got laughed at $40 an hour snow shoveling jobs. Nobody was laughing when the sidewalks were clear within 2 hours of the last snowstorm. Public money to the public to help the public. Yeah, isn't that funny that when you pay somebody a good wage, they will fucking do a hard job because they know they're going to get paid for it. And look, it works. When you put it in, when you invest, this is what it means. So let's break this down. You pay people a stupid sum of money. Let's just, go with that. Oh my God, what a stupid sum of money. And they did the job. They cleared up the roads within 2 hours. Now, the right wingers would look at that and be like, I can't believe you paid those workers that much. How I would look at that was, he gave people good money to clear the roads. And with clear roads, what does that mean? Traffic gets moving, no delays. The city carries on working, meaning that there is no domino effect by not having the roads cleared. If you had the roads that were still full of snow, people can't get to work, traffic, delays, money lost.
They just don't like paying blue collar people
They
good wages.
hate
They
paying.
fucking
Yeah,
they hate it.
they hate paying people. There are some people, they just fucking get offended by the fact that they have to pay somebody a living wage. Like here in the UK, we're so egregious with it. Like, I can't believe I'm looking at fucking management jobs and they're only £25,000 a year, which is fucking insane. That
How are you
job
supposed
should
to
be
live on
40
that?
grand. You can't live on 25 grand a year. Like, fucking hell.
Man, you can't even live on 40 grand a year, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
No, if you've got a mortgage, no, you can't. You know what I mean? I can get away with what I live off of because I only pay bills. I don't have a mortgage to pay.
Likewise,
Yeah. So if I
my
wasn't, if
bills
I didn't
my
have,
bills are my rent, basically.
yeah, that's it. That's basically it. And the worst of the lot is the fucking council tax. Like, I hate that with a passion, and it shouldn't
What's it
exist. It didn't used to
in your
exist.
borough? How much
What's
is it?
that?
How much you have to pay a year?
I pay. Well, it's 10 months. You only pay for council tax, so I
Yeah,
pay £220 a month.
it's about
That's
2 grand.
huh? It's 2 grand. Yeah,
Two grand, £200 or
two
like
thousand
that.
two hundred or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something similar to what I'm paying
yeah. It's
for
it's
Barnet.
disgusting amount. Yeah, Barnet Enfield, they're kind of similar uh, in their pricing. It's fucking disgusting. And that's where the biggest chunk of my money goes. Then it's gas and electric, and now it's the fucking water bill. My water bills have skyrocketed.
Yeah, for sewage.
Yeah, for sewage to fucking drink sewage, basically. Um, and they've changed the payment plan now. I can't just pay as I go. Like, you have to set up like a monthly thing. Like, not quite. You can do direct debit, but you can also
For
do
water,
like
pays you go for water.
yeah. That's how I used to do it. I didn't because the water bill is not an important bill to pay. People need to understand that. Of all the bills that, if you can't afford to pay, firstly, if you can't afford to pay a water bill, contact Thames Water because you can get cheaper rates. Secondly, they cannot cut off your water. Therefore, it is not a priority debt if you had one. So how I do my water bill is I pay.
Cannot or impossible to.
What's that? No, if you can't pay it, if you can't afford to pay it because of other bills and other struggles, and water is important, they cannot cut it off. you can contact and get reduced rates.
It's important now, but if reform come into power, that might change.
Well, if reform come into power, then you don't get nothing, and they'll cut everything off and let you die. You know what I mean? So, as a disabled person, I dread the fact that we're a punching bag now, even under this Labour government. But when reform get in, oh my god, they're just going to take people out the back and shoot them. Let's face it, which is pretty much what the Tories did. Let's be real. Ian Duncan Smith still top of my list to hang at the Hague. But yeah, so so I used to do a thing like, okay, this month I'm just going to pay this much off, and that month I'll pay that much off. Now you can't fucking do that. You have to do like a monthly payment plan. It's really fucking annoying. But okay, I've set that up anyway. I'll leave it as it is. But £500 a year of water bills, like bloody ridiculous, absolutely shocking. I don't use a lot of water. Like I'm very conservative with my usage. Like that's why, like when Mum's not here,
You have quick showers, I guess.
yeah, very quick showers. Like
5 minutes.
I don't have the water running, so I soak my body, lather up, rinse, lather up, rinse. That's it, done, in and out.
I have the water running because it's cold at the beginning, and at this time of year, I don't want to be in the cold water. But it's only
well,
running for.
I have a switch on my shower head that stops the water. So I pause it while I lather up and then let it run, and then that kind of way. So a bit like the douche works, with the douche where you press it.
No,
and
yeah,
all that.
I could stop it and all of that, but I lather up very quickly, and then I'm in the water anyway, but I lather up what I can, then that gets rinsed, and lather up the rest of myself that gets rinsed.
That's fine. But your showers are short, right?
I try to keep it short, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Even that's good compared to a lot of other people. Like I know one guy that takes a shower for like fucking half an hour. I'm like, mate, don't do that. I don't care about how your body, how clean you think you're going to be. You're not going to get any cleaner than a rinse, a lather, and that's it. Okay, you're not going to. Other than that, you're fucking wasting water.
I'm using this mint leaf shower gel. I fucking love it.
So the one that tingles your balls.
Yeah, it doesn't tingle. The funny thing is, I don't think it's as good as it used to be. But I used to put it around my balls, and my balls feel like they were fucking frozen like ice because of the coolness of the. But I'm not getting that sensation anymore.
Maybe they've dulled it down.
Good shit always ends up being mediocre shit. It's really good at first. People start buying into it, and you start using it, and you think to yourself,
then they cut costs and cheapen it
up.
Yeah,
it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same with fucking most products, unfortunately. So tomorrow, is it Elimination Chamber tomorrow?
Elimination Chamber is tomorrow. SmackDown's today. Chamber's tomorrow. And then we'll do the review the following day. But I think it's about time for some TikTok traces, dude.
Go for it.
Hold on. You keep talking because I just realized
that's fine. All I want to say is WWE is struggling to sell WrestleMania tickets now.
Yeah. And full stop. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done some the shitty shenanigans that they've done, like the blackouts, where you're not allowed to kind of even watch WWE within the vicinity of the venue, like a 50-mile radius. That's shocking. But yeah, I think WWE, but this time next year, they're actually going to be struggling.
It's not just that. It's like for Elimination Chamber, they're doing the same shit in Chicago as well. Like they're doing the radius shit there.
Instead of giving you cheaper tickets, they're just trying to do blackouts everywhere, which shouldn't be allowed. It's just but it's America, isn't it? So corporations can do whatever the fuck they want. But yeah, that's shocking. I'm predicting that by 2028, the Saudis are going to end up buying WWE because they're going to price themselves out of the product and just look to make a sale and just profit off of the sale.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, okay, I got my shit together. Where are we? Oh, here we are.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Where is good old Jinder? Is this it? Is that it? Is this it? Is this it? I think this is it.
Sam's TikTok treasure!
Make me feel more gay than I already am.
Oh, I love
right.
Croc. It's the best thing Elon Musk ever did. It's not as good anymore. The pedos destroyed it.
Don't they always?
Always.
All right.
Herbert's ruin everything.
There we go. This is Daniel Vance's favorite part of the show, by the way.
Yeah.
So where are we on this? Where do I start?
What you want, Cat?
Here we go. Let's start with this one.
I just want to drive my truck.
Oh. By the way, this song, I couldn't stop singing this song when I first heard it and making fun of it.
This one or the one at the actual TP USA event?
Yeah, the one that, well, not this one I'm showing now, but the one at TPU, this guy's mocking. Yeah,
I just want to drive my truck and fuck my fish.
Catch my fish.
I just
drink my beer. Beers.
Drink my beer and call a minority a slur with words that ain't in the Bible that I claim to read. I just want to be a real man, get a fake tan, and wear $2,000 boots, but I'm still one of you. Except I'm rich. Remember when we could say what we want without the woke mob cancel culture? Telling dirty jokes, letting boys be boys, not these feminine snowflake vultures. I saw a man die with the same kind of gun I used to hunt my deer. He was killed for speaking his truth, but he lives on inside of you. Charlie Kirk. While all of the Mexicans and immigrants are ruining my family-friendly game, dancing like savages and prostitutes in front of children. What a shame. I'd rather be right here, singing near artists who make songs about underage girls, and for the president who never went to that island. I believe you, sir. You see, we call the liberals sensitive, but the moment we get offended, we throw a tantrum show that no one goes to, and it may be pre-recorded. We hire actors to cheer for us, cause our music's bad and our morals worse. But I'll be okay knowing that someday God will open his doors, and I'll be sharing beers with my hero, Charlie. This song's for Charlie Kirk. I just want to drive my truck.
Love this guy.
Drink my beer.
Very good.
Love this guy so much. All right, what we got next? Okay.
Here's a hot take. This person, and this person were all hired because this person wants to fuck this person. Changed my mind. Here's a hot take. This person, and this person.
Some of these are quite old for me when I saved them since the last time we done this. So I forget what I've actually saved. You know what I mean? But it's true. Trump wants to fuck his daughter. Everybody knows that.
There's an entire generation of people who remember both rotary phones and the
This
first
is us,
iPhone
by the way.
launch,
I did
and
this for
psychologists
us.
can't quite figure out where to put them. If you were born between 1976 and 1985, you're on the tail end of Gen X, but you're hardly a millennial, even though everyone keeps trying to shove you into one of those boxes. You're what researchers started calling a zennial around 2014, and some sociologists have even labeled this group a microgeneration because the window is so specific. What happened during that specific slice of history created something that's genuinely worth examining. So today, we're going to explore what makes them interesting from a psychological perspective. From the start, you spent your childhood in an analog world where boredom was just something you sat with, where you had to actually remember phone numbers, and not to mention the dread if you missed your favorite TV show, it was just gone. Yet one day, right as you were moving into adulthood, the entire world went digital. Not gradually, suddenly. The timing of this shift had consequences that are still playing out. Most generations grow up entirely in one technology paradigm or other. Zennials, however, went through both of these life-defining experiences during the years when you were still discovering yourself. Your late teens looked very different to your 20s, and the disparity in age was far wider than most generations experience. Consider the implications of this on your daily life. Remember how much of your teens were spent passing physical notes in class, or having conversations that disappeared into thin air, or making plans where you weren't able to text running late or where are you? You just showed up and hoped your friends would be there. That required a completely different kind of trust and commitment than what exists now. But then you were in your 20s and saw everyone get cell phones. You registered with Friendster, next MySpace, then Facebook. Prior to social media, most people only had 3 different ways to contact someone. Either
but you getting the message. I don't wanna go with this one. I just thought that was quite informative and
That's quite cool.
yeah, because I actually did feel like that. Genuinely felt like that. I felt like I was somebody of 2 different periods. Like I felt like I was from like such a historical past to be in this present stroke future that we're in now. That it's hard to explain. But anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
Why is there no sound? This guy, by the way, it's crazy how where we are in our politics under Trump now, because now you got people basically trying to say that white identity is being crushed and all that. Let's listen to this dickhead.
Tell me how you define white identity and what you think is being erased about white identity.
Certain types of Anglo-derived culture that comes from our history.
Like what?
Let me think about this.
They can never answer.
Senator, I would say if you were to look at the book by one of your former Senate colleagues, Born Fighting, about the sort of Scotch-Irish military culture and certain, pride that went with that, that would be one example. Obviously, you could have sub-elements of that culture. You could have Italians, you could have Irish, and those are in many ways more.
But you're worried about white culture. You're not worried about you're now retreating to ethnic identity. You don't speak about ethnic identity. You speak about white identity. So tell me the values that stitch together white identity and that make it different than black identity.
I would say that the white church is very different than the black church in terms of its tone and style on average. Foodways could often be different.
And those
music could be different.
And those are being erased.
Music could be different. Well, if you look at the Super Bowl halftime show, which was not in English this year.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased?
I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized, and I think that weakens us. And again, I'm not running away from that comment. I'm not apologizing for it.
Well, I'm way over my time. I think you're struggling to answer this question, right? Because underlying your beliefs is a sentiment that white culture is just simply better. Tell me how you.
Without this guy is desperately not trying to sound like a racist, but if he really wanted to answer the question honestly in the way he felt would be how he genuinely feels, he would sound like a fucking racist. And you know what? And he still sounds like a fucking racist.
Yeah. And what he's just basically trying to say is there's just too many brown people and I don't like it. It scares me.
By the way, this clip I remember, by the way. Let's check this
Today's
out.
winner of the daily competition for most perverse thing said by a Trump cabinet member said,
I'm not scared of a germ. I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats.
Yes, that is Donald Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services telling us why we shouldn't be afraid of communicable diseases, at least the ones he didn't get from toilet seats.
Today, there you go, Rick B. There's the people you like to fucking defend. The fucking RFK Jr. saying how he snorts cocaine off fucking toilet seats and he's not worried about germs. And we're supposed to take the right wing fucking seriously. Let's have a look at this dude.
I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer. You say it's fake news when it's something I don't want to hear. Like how the stance of my own party claims to be protect the child. But we care more about a halftime show than what's written in those files. I just want to fill my tank, my bank account, and my fridge. Even though I can't, at least I can say we own the libs. 'Cause we banned that one trans athlete playing in my state. Fear, hate, and bigotry what makes America great. It's so easy being country in this country nowadays. You just say you're being attacked 'cause you're white, Christian, and straight. And you stay mad at the dumbest things while you call the left snowflakes. It's so easy being country in this country nowadays. I just want to catch my fish.
Yeah, I'm loving these parodies. Okay, here we go.
And this year's nominees include only one white man. Haha, your time is over, white man. I'm joking, you guys came back. And wow, what a comeback you guys had. I'll be honest, we had counted you out. And you showed us. We thought it was our time, we were wrong, it is not our time. It is still your time. Congratulations to almost everyone here. And now that you white men have wrested power back from us, let me be the first to say, I was always your biggest fan. I never stopped believing in you. You are doing a great job. You have always done a great job. And I would like to stay in the country. I have always supported you. Check out this segue. Speaking of supporting, here are the nominees. And this year's nominees.
Yeah, it's really good reminding myself why I saved these clips. That was brilliant. Anyway, here we go.
Okay, baby, it's safe to cross. Ah! Mommy! Are you okay, Mommy? Mommy! Are you alright? I'm coming. I'm right here. Are you okay? Holy fucking shit. Call a fucking hospital. She's hurt. I thought you should know that the Dow is at 50,000 right now. What does that mean? Oh, and the S&P's at 7,000. My mom isn't fucking moving. Also, the NASDAQ is smashing. We have to get to a hospital as soon as we can. Oh, thank God. My mom is hurt. She got hit by a car. You tell him the Dow is up? Okay, baby, it's safe to cross.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was funny. All right.
Brilliant. Here's another vibe. My father-in-law asked me how I know not to lie or steal or murder if I don't read the Bible. And that's when I realized my father-in-law, he should not stop reading the Bible. I didn't know that's what was stopping him. It's not good. Here's another vibe. My father-in-law.
Yeah, you know what? That's something I might end up using in the future on religious fucks. When it comes to shit like that. Anyway, this is a good parody of Americans.
Ever reading your Bible.
I've been hearing a lot about this Lamine Jamal kid who could honestly go on to be as great as Messi or even the GOAT, Clint Dempsey. Heung-min Son is left out of the U.S. men's team today. Strange considering how great he's been for LAFC. The pride match between Iran and Egypt is brought to you by Palantir, Raytheon, and Turning Point USA. Here to give their expert analysis on the game, we have Stephen A. Smith and Shaquille O'Neal as they're joined by Ryan Reynolds. The halftime show of Nicki Minaj and Kid Rock is brought to you by Ozempic.
People with type 2 diabetes are...
Sure, Messi's good, but who has more Serie A goals between him and Christian Pulisic? Just something to think about when talking about the greatest of all time. The U.S. men's team are going to need to pick up the pace as we go into extra time. We're going to need a miracle, like I Show Speed warming up on the sidelines, getting ready for his professional debut. I've been hearing a lot about this
I thought that was funny. All right. Next one. This is to do with the recent issues with Vinicius.
Real Madrid players were furious with what Prestiani said to Vinny, but the problem is they may not be able to prove what he said. In the 50th minute, Vinny cuts it and he whips it. It flies in top corner,
great goal,
unreal goal.
Yeah.
But then the game explodes. Vinny runs over to the corner flag as a little boogie. The Benfica fans, they don't like him doing that in front of them, but it doesn't faze Vinny one bit. But then Prestiani comes sprinting over, puts his top over his mouth. The ref comes running over, gives Vinny a yellow card for an overt celebration. But Prestiani, he's still not let it go. He's not happy how he celebrated. Keeps putting his shirt over his mouth, but then the game's just about to restart. Prestiani goes again, and as soon as he says something this time, Vinny sprints to the referee, points to Prestiani, and tells the ref, what he said to him. The ref does a cross-down protocol, starting a UEFA investigation. Refs have to do that when there's been a serious allegation, and the game has to be paused. Vinny sits himself on the bench. He's had similar things on the past, and he said, I will walk off the pitch if this happens again. Tells Arbeloa exactly what he said and how he said it. All the ref can do is speak to both players and leave it to UEFA to investigate. Valverde after the game said, when you cover your mouth, you're obviously trying to say something ugly. He said a word that never should be used. And as soon as Prestiani was subbed off, went down the tunnel, turned off his comments on social media. So no one could comment. Game finished 1-0, but Vinny from the Benfica fans was getting it all game. After the game, he just said, Bernabeu, see you there. Real Madrid players were...
And he did, and he fucking... This is the thing, when you're a world-class player, Ginge, and really good player, and you get your fucking... You know, you feel like there's an injustice, and you get fired up, mate, you end up fucking killing it. And fuck you, Benfica. I'm very happy for once in my life that Real Madrid beat you guys and into the next round. And not just that, but Vinicius Jr., that goal he scored, he took on Otamendi, who was also stoking the fires, made him look like a bitch. Oh man, very happy for you, Vinicius.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's very atypical of a kind of Jose Mourinho team to kind of poke and prod and stoke division. And
I know. I think with Mourinho, the one thing I know he's many things. The one thing I didn't think he was a racist. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I guess I've got.
He's just a prick. I don't like Jose. Never. Just.
Anyway, time to make fun of Americans again.
Land of the free, home of the brave. Well, if it isn't Mr. No Kings himself. God, is this about your former Prince Andrew? Ah, and the serendipitous irony that comes with it. Well, joke's on you, Americans don't get irony. Keep forgetting that. And very few of us know what serendipitous means. Well, you specifically said no kings so that no one is above the law. Damn right. Courtesy of those Epstein files, that's not going so well, is it? It wasn't going so well before that. So while we've arrested a royal because of his connection, he was 8th in line to the throne. Still counts. I mean, you're probably like 12. What have you done? Killed the guy in his cell to try and cover it up with everybody else that's in the files. Oh, well, our Department of Justice said they can't prove any crime. Well, what do they need? Actual video footage? Probably had it and destroyed it. What a predictable shame your Constitution didn't make it to 250. Our Constitution is doing just fine. Oh yeah? Which part? The second part? Oh, you are using your firearms against a tyrannical government, are you? We use them for a lot of other reasons. And what would you say you have now? A supreme leader? A mega king? He's still just the president. For now. And what about everybody else? They are the Mega King's buddies. You know, there's also even more irony in how none of them pay taxes. If I truly understood what you're saying, I'd probably be quite emotional. So to clarify, you didn't want a king to be above the law. That's correct. But mega-rich, rapey pedophiles totally are? Yeah, that's the American way. Well, you're doing great, old boy. Land of the free, home of the...
Oh, food place? No, I don't want to do that.
Yo, Josh, how do you say it's gonna snow in Croatian? Biće sniga.
I don't believe you. I'm gonna research this real quick. I'll be right back.
Bit će snijega.
Yo, Josh, how do you say...
Oh god. Okay, this is also funny as well.
Fill in the blank. Oh, okay, hold on. This is another level here. We got a nice group of individuals. Is it numbers?
That's numbers.
Oh wow, these ones are hard.
Bigger. Dagger. Oh, I can't see, the window's too small. Yeah, dagger.
Is it dagger?
That's correct.
Ooh, I'm locked in. Rigor.
That's correct.
Rigor.
Oh.
Bigger.
Oh, bigger.
That's correct.
Digger.
That's correct.
Singer.
That's correct.
Burger.
Fill in the blank.
Oh.
That was funny. You reminded me of the South Park episode, the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reform UK has announced one of their first major
naggers.
pieces of legislation. But the issue is, it's wanting to get rid of your rights and mine in the name of growth. Called the Great Repeal Act, it's wanting to overturn years of left-wing legislation, which actually keeps you safe in a lot of scenarios. So, for example, if you're a renter, this piece of legislation wants to turn over the Renters' Rights Act, which means you can't be booted out of your home with a no-fault eviction. That'd be gone. But it would also get rid of the Employees' Rights Act, which protects you from a lot of unscrupulous practices at work. So, for example, it protects you from fire and rehire, where your boss isn't allowed to fire you and then rehire you for a lower wage. But this isn't the first policy they've announced which is putting rights on the bonfire for the sake of profits and also slogans. If you remember from a few days ago, Suella Braverman, one of the latest Reform MPs, have said that she'd scrap the Equalities Act if the party ever got into power. And what that means is that this piece of legislation which protects you on the basis of your characteristics, so your race, your gender, your sexuality, that'd all be gone. And for the people in the comments that'll be saying, well, that doesn't affect me. Yeah, it does. If you're a pregnant woman, that means you could be fired just because you're not bringing in profits, you're pregnant. That would put so many families on the bottom line. The issue is that these pieces of legislation and these policies are wrapped up as being made to boost the common man, boost growth, cut the red tape. But the only thing that's being cut is your rights, and you won't see that profit. That profit will instead go to Nigel Farage and his rich mates. No one benefits from having the Renters' Rights Bill overturned other than landlords. No one benefits from having employee rights overturned other than unscrupulous bosses. And no one benefits from having your rights overturned other than Nigel Farage. Reform UK...
Yeah. Well, keep explaining that to them. They don't understand it. Because they don't
Carrier
care.
in Iran is sink.
Sorry, say again?
I said they don't care because they're either just too dumb or they're bots.
Now, you know, America wants to go to war with Iran and they've got ships there and stuff like that, but some of their ships are not in great shape.
Carrier in Iran is sinking in shit right now, as 90% of all the toilets aboard are broken. Poop and sewage is flooding the $9 billion aircraft carrier as it's ready to strike Iran any day now, with dozens of sailors already sick. A day ago, the sewage system that is brand new exploded on the ship, leaving 5,000 sailors without a bathroom to use, or they could face a line of up to 2 hours to wait on, and also sewage flooding the living quarters. And the ship has now been docked in Greece to try to deal with this issue because the Israelis refused to let it dock in Haifa. And now the reports say the USS Ford might not even be ready to strike Iran within 3 weeks, because the bacteria in the sewage is now causing sailors to get sick, meaning if this thing got struck by a hypersonic missile, bad things would happen. The ship is going to be stopping in Greece, like I said, to allow the sailors off of it to all use the bathroom and shower. Follow for updates, comment your thoughts. The US military is in some deep shit. Carrier in Iran.
I mean, why can't they stop at Israel? I mean, they're supposed to be friends with them, but fuck that. Israel doesn't want to be cleaning up their mess.
Now, so instead they speak in my country because my country is just full of a cuck government. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Spineless fucking weasels. God, I hate the New Democrats so much.
There we go.
This video is fantastic. God damn, this is funny. This video's quick. Remember that girl that was a Trump supporter? She was Spanish.
Okay.
And she was like, Trump is this, Trump is that. You don't understand, right? She goes, Trump is the closest thing to God.
Trump is the closest thing to God.
And they deported her dumbass.
Maria Hernandez was deported on Tuesday after ICE raided her Miami home.
Oh, I laughed like the dude in this video laughed. That's funny.
Fucking hate
Trump is the closest thing to God. Yeah, Godspeed. That's how fast they got your ass. That's hilarious.
Yes, I am God. I am God because I am God and your prayers have been answered. America's prayers have been answered. I'm getting rid of all the Latinos. Goodbye. And you can say I am the closest thing to goddamn because goddamn, that was very fast.
This video is fan.
Well, actually, Ginger, one more. I want to end on some AI video of Flash versus the A Train.
Who are you? I'm the fastest man in the world. Do you want to prove it?
try to keep up with me.
Very good for AI.
Yeah.
Okay, I admit, your speed is indeed very fast.
Thank you. Now, can we talk calmly and stop rubbing the road with sparks?
Okay, but this is only because I want to save some energy.
So, what are you doing in this city?
The Homelander was defeated by a giant lion man.
Lion Man?
I'm here to check the situation.
This world is getting crazier and crazier. I hope you can find the answer you want. What is that?
Come race, Red Man.
Stop! You'll kill them!
He's trying to hit him. I like it. It makes sense though.
Yeah. Again,
With their metabolism.
On one computer doing it.
Yeah, Avengers headquarters. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This ends now!
You never really see Flash in a fist fight.
No.
It's good though when it's done like this.
It was pretty good, you know what I mean? Again, obviously not perfect, but fucking hell, the fact that this was done by...
Am I late? Yes, but to be honest, I don't mind you showing up now.
And this is like to finish off. Nope, let me... Oh dear, have I frozen now?
No, you're still
No,
here.
there we are. I'm fine. Yeah, don't worry. Everything just stuttered
No,
for a minute.
No, but before you say anything else, I just want to say that clip gets this.
Zam's seal of approval. Zam's seal of approval.
That's terrible. I love it.
That was my first one. Give me a break.
I love it. No, listen, the shitter things look, the better. Me. No, but it's just to say, like, you know, that was done. One person, one computer. Obviously, every clip they can only do maximum, I think, up to like 10 seconds long. Or that. And for what it was cool. And my argument has always been like, the one area of Hollywood where people really just shouldn't fight against because it is so fucking expensive is CGI, and just let AI kind of eventually take that over, because it is literally a million times cheaper to do it, and you can get a fuckload more films done out of it. And then I'll be like, well, AI doesn't create anything original. Like, well, no, you've videoed the shot, you set up the shot, you do all the stuff, and then you just let AI do the rest. You know what I mean? So yeah, because it's incredible what AI is doing and how far it's come. It's not quite there yet.
Yep, with visual effects, yeah, for sure.
But with visual effects, it will do a 10 times better job than CGI will at a 1/1,000,000th of the cost. Literally 1/1,000,000th of the cost. So just saying, you know what I mean? But anyway, on that note, thank you to everyone that joined us. Go Greens. It was a fantastic day for British politics today and yesterday. And yes, are you doing you're not doing a watch along for Elimination Chamber, are you? It might be the Americans.
If the Americans want to do a watch along, they can be my guest. Obviously, until WWE is in a time zone which is amicable for us, there's no point in us doing it unless we want to do it. I don't want to do it. So we'll be doing a review possibly on Sunday of both SmackDown and the Chamber.
Fair enough.